Happy full moon, my friends. Let's see what the cards want to tell us about this full moon in Pisces that is happening tonight over here in Arizona. I believe it's sometime around 10 p.m. tonight, according to my app. But anyway, let's just see what's going on. A little collective reading before I do my commitment to fixed signs this weekend. And I have a couple cardinal signs to pick up too. But let's get into the moon a little bit. We're going to pull a card from the Good Tarot and look at what's going on underneath. Let's see. We have a King of Earth here. Very 3D, very secure, very abundant. So this is what is up for you. Your career, home, your very practical everyday existence. We know we have Uranus in Taurus and that we have the Sun in Virgo, so there's a lot of earth energy going on. And we're going to actually look at both of those in this reading. On the bottom of the deck, one card, there is some kind of sense of discontent, emotionally, a need to move. See, this person has all this wealth here, but they're looking out across the sea to what they don't have. So if you're feeling some kind of discontent here, a wistfulness, a need to strike out and look for a place that better suits you, you would not be alone in this time. All right, so I'm doing the 6-card reading. It still wants to be what I ask of the cards as I think about it today. And it is a reading that is about this full moon and the other things that are going on in the sky right now. Without further ado, we'll get into the Guardian of the Night. Let's see what's up, my friends. Okay, so the first thing, because with this moon in Pisces, we're wondering something is dissolving. And so we get another card of this sort of masculine structural power, the Emperor, the Alpha. That is dissolving. We will clarify and find out more. We've got the King of Earth here. Also gives me this feeling of structure. What is it that we ought to be grateful for in the everyday details? So somewhere in your everyday life is the Lovers. So looking around in your everyday life, this can be a choice. And we talk about it as a choice because the Lovers is that connection on all levels between two people. And it is a heart and mind and body and soul connection. And so that's somewhere around you in your everyday life. You may already be connected with that person and married to them for all I know. But what we're asking about here is what in our everyday life ought we be grateful for? And this is a card that we get in answer to that question. So thirdly, we're going to ask what we are revisiting. There are a lot of planets in retrograde, and we are revisiting what we recently did. And it looks like you have been doing some healing and some wish fulfillment of late. Beautiful. These are very powerful, all major arcana cards. It's a fantastic collective full moon in Pisces kind of reading here that we have. So the stars, so this could be directing us even to think about the stars themselves. And this is when things are in retrograde, they appear to be going backwards through our zodiac. The only planets that are not in retrograde are Virgo and Mars. Virgo won't go into retrograde until next year. And but check my work on that because I'm just riffing off memory there. So thinking about what you did in the past few months, we got it. All those big planets are out there reconsidering, integrating, And that looks like you just went through a really beautiful, transformative process of healing. You may want to just give yourself credit for that. There's some of that in the Sun and Virgo energy that we just want to notice what we've accomplished. And that's an antidote to the way that Virgo can be perfectionisty and picky about never quite measuring up. Some of this Eight of Water energy of kind of looking away from what you've made here towards what you don't have. I always think of the Eight of Water as a positive card in that I like movement and change. It's a value of mine somehow, even though I'm a fixed sign. But there can be a feeling of discontent and not noticing what you have accomplished. And since we have this King of Earth as our overarching card, it would appear that you have achieved something in the real world, and you ought to give yourself credit for that. The Lovers is telling you this as well. So that could be some kind of a decision that you're glad you made about your everyday life, or it could be your actual lover, your partner, your soulmate found in your everyday life. And sometimes this can be very challenging and scary, and that's why it's a choice. People may not be up for something that intense, I guess. I don't get it. I'm a Scorpio. I like intense. Okay, fourth, we want to ask about what is hidden and that the tarot wants you to know. It looks like there is some waiting. 1 foot in water, 1 foot on land, trying to find this. There's that cup that's missing in the Eight of Cups. So you're trying to find the right emotional balance. And this is another major arcana card here. And it is about waiting. Fifth, we'll clarify. It's something that you don't know because it's hidden from you. Fifthly, we have a Tower. Yes, so the question for this card is what is going to incite change? Because we're looking at what's dissolving, we're looking at what we're grateful for, we're looking back over what we've accomplished. There's this waiting, but it looks like there's also a shocking, surprising revelation. It may be positive. It could be like this Lover's in your everyday life. Somebody in your everyday life suddenly tells you they're in love with you. That would be a Tower. It could also be something else in your life that's built on a shaky foundation often. And if it's built on a shaky foundation, the universe is going to bring it down if you don't do it for it. So that seems related to the Lovers to me, that choice, and we will look further at that. Also the Star, this healing, it's as if that might be what you reconsider. Interesting. Okay. And Temperance is also very much about healing and divine support. So that is all major arcana. What is the future here? The future is a 10 of Swords. I hate to see that. That is also, when I first saw this 10 of Swords, I literally burst into tears. I could really feel the anguish of that mama bird, and she has lost this beloved little one. The egg broke, and she is mourning that. There's also always another place to direct your attention, a new direction, but this is an ending, and it is painful coming in. There's a lot of that going around, my friends, but we will clarify and find out more what's going on the bottom. This tells me that, lots of truth, lots of swords going on here. We've had Mars in Gemini. Mars will be in Gemini until March. I have felt that kind of aggression of my mind trying to having a lot to say. But anyway, look in yourself and see if you're feeling that. So the Nine of Swords here is anxiety, insomnia. No wonder you're in an Eight of Water. There's also something that you're realizing, a truth. It's maybe not a comfortable truth, but it is some truth, and I think it's always positive. And you're open-minded here. There's an open-mindedness of the Page of Swords. Just curious and open-minded to that truth, and perhaps that there's a messenger that is bringing that truth to you, but it's nothing major. The Knight of Swords is it? Oh, I'm sorry. I saw that as a page. It is a knight, so it is a bit aggro. It's this. This is very much the Martian energy. It's the only thing I didn't ask about in these cards here that I know is going on. And Mars will soon go into retrograde, and I think October. And that's why it's going to stay in Gemini for so long. So we've got the Knight of Swords is actually, can be pissed off, can be like, I'm going to bring the truth and I want fast action. And that's in conflict, as we see here, with Temperance slowing you down in some way. That is also a caution for you to look into the emotional depths. You're up in your head, go down into your heart. And then we get the Three of Cups. So this is friendship. It can be reconciliation if there's some kind of person that you've been estranged from in some way. This can be about bringing in reconciliation. It kind of looks like there's a message there's a truth that you need to tell one of your friends or somebody in that level of your life. You need to be open up to them about something, and there's an urgency and a swiftness in the Knight of Swords towards these kind of raccoons are kind of clueless about what's going on. They're just having their little party. They always look a little anxious to me, like they're worried about the owner of the house with all these cups in it coming in and catching them. That's just how this particular Three of Cups comes in for me. But that's like friendship. Threes can sometimes be third party things here. There is something in your everyday life that is the source of this Lover's Tower. There's yeah, let's clarify, because there's something going on here. I feel like in your everyday life there's a person, and I feel very clearly that you have something to say or realize about somebody in your everyday life, and it's big because the Lovers and the Tower. And somehow this leads to a Ten of Swords. Big story here, collective. Let's see what's going on. We are going to clarify. So, what is dissolving is the Emperor. And this can be like certainty. This is that Piscean energy. This is where the moon is. And you might think back to 6 months ago when Pisces had the new moon in it. And if perhaps you initiated something then. But whatever this is, it's your alpha, masculine, structural kind of energy that is dissolving. Which makes sense with all this watery stuff, right? Okay. Yeah, we're going to just clarify here. So we get a Knight of Wands. There's a more fast action messenger energy. Let me see here. There's your Nine of Swords. That's exactly like the nightmare feeling. It's the same energy that we have here. This is your underlying energy. The polar bear protecting her baby, feeling anxious about something. This is what it feels like in your mind. And ooh, the Hierophant. Yeah, there is so much structural power here lightning striking, the key to knowledge. This is like the Pope, the Hierophant, the church, the state, the emperor, and the Hierophant here on the table. Hierophant looking backwards with, and so is the emperor, this gorgeous owl here. And this is card of Aries, so then that's why you have that ram there. So what is dissolving? It looks like you had all this lust, willpower, Son of Wands, that kind of got jammed up in anxiety about how this might affect or be blocked by the old world. It feels very much like an old world dissolving at first, but in a way, like what I'm wondering is perhaps what's dissolving is this anxiety that's keeping you from acting. So it's clear that you need to carry a message, because you got the Knight of Swords and now the Knight of Wands here. It's your mind, air, and your body, fire. So it's like desire in a way. It's a truth about your desire. You're feeling really anxious about it. It seems to go against structural power. And this, I think, what's going to dissolve because of this polar bear situation here is that anxiety is going to be dissolving. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay. So then we have in your everyday life something to be grateful for, the Lovers. This is your Sun in Virgo energy. What else? There is some self-harm, winning in a way that cuts you in two. There's regret here. And sometimes you hurt somebody else. You always get hurt too when you hurt somebody else. It isolates you and disconnects you. You can feel at odds with yourself. And I'm also noticing something about the Lovers are these two curves, and then we have this earthworm curve being split in two. So there's something keeping you from this in your everyday life. This Victory, Seven of Wands. That's a card that shows you having integrity. There are adversarial voices. You're finding courage. It's not victory, it is resistance. But there is victory in you, shining your light despite people coming for your victory. But again, like you're dividing, there's some way that there's a divisiveness here. And then the Father of Cups, who is emotionally mature, kind, loving, and also a great listener, because the Father of Cups cares for a kingdom. This could be a Scorpio. And then we have the Lovers as Scorpions, right? So if you have Scorpio in your chart, or there's a Scorpio around you, that's seems important. And the Father of Cups, like kings, get associated with fixed signs. So you also have the King of Earth, which would be Taurus, if you're going to stick with that. But it could be any water sign here. It looks like a shift here. So this whole Virgo Sun thing, it's causing you to look at your life, a decision you made that has divided you, but which ultimately you come to realize is a source of it shows your integrity. So there's this dilemma in this Lover's card, and the dilemma appears to be between the Five of Swords and the Seven of Wands, between did I do it wrong or did I make a right decision? Do I have integrity? And I actually can't answer that for you because this is what you need to know. The part of you that knows is your heart. You know this in your heart, whether you have regret or whether you stand with yourself and resist perhaps outside voices that tell you that that's wrong, what you did. It would appear in the many layers of the Lovers and the Father of Cups here, it appears to be, all these are significant cards in your life. This appears to be in a romantic, soulmate connection where this happened. And what you have to know when you have the Father of Cups is that this is not a time to open up. It's a time to listen. Father of Cups takes care of the kingdom and listens. And that's also, like Scorpio, a secretiveness here. And that's why we're seeing that you really have some kind of truth that you want to share. And you have all this momentum that you want to share this truth. And it's something with these raccoons. But what we have here, what's hidden from you, what you don't know, is there's a good reason to wait. And it's a reason that comes from your emotional depths, your heart. The Father of Cups here agrees with that. So if you have a decision to communicate about, it's just saying pause. This is a time, as we move here to the next card, of reviewing, revisiting, looking back over what we recently did. It may be worth your while to pause and do that review, integrate that before you act. But let's see, let's clarify here. The Star. For all the retrogrades, what are you revisiting? A message, action. There's that feeling of truth that strikes you in the wands, which is your body. It's like, do you know how your mind knows truths, but then you just somehow also can know them in your body, in the fire of you, the blood. It's like it's your willpower. And when I don't usually read cards upside down, but it came in upside down, and sometimes that's seeming important to me lately. There's a kind of this hasn't happened yet somehow. Again, this is that urge that you clearly have to communicate. Remember we had the Son of Wands getting blocked and stuck in anxiety and being afraid of upsetting the status quo in some way. And the thing that your dilemma has to do with is you're not totally clear, or maybe you are clear, but I don't know which way this falls. Are you acting in integrity? Or is there some way that you need to see there's some harm, that you're going to regret this? And to know that you listen when you really want to communicate. And it seems like recently, in a process of healing, with divine support, it's very beautiful, and of aiming towards some kind of wish fulfillment, you became, this truth came into you. And it comes out of your desire. What else? The Empress. The feminine, the opposite of our emperor, not the partner. The Empress is autonomous. She is sovereign over herself. This is who you want to communicate this to. Somebody who is, to you, the Empress. The Empress and the Queen of Wands are, to me, the most attractive women cards in the tarot. So when I see the Empress, the cards are telling me, your tarot reader, that there is somebody around you, or that you are, who's coming in as the Empress. And you may be coming in as the Empress. Let's see, one more card. I pulled two. And there's our Father of Pentacles. It's the same as our This is this Earth King, rainbow antlered. This is all your security and abundance. It's very important that the antlers are like this lightning in the rainbow color scheme to me. And I've been thinking about this. There's in our local area, there are some people who want to prevent children from having rainbow flags in their high school. And so that's what I'm thinking of when I see this. They're afraid of them, basically. And it's caused me to reflect back on my history as a queer person and the relationship I have towards the rainbow flag, which is, I love it. It's like love, love and let love. It's a celebration of diversity. It's kind of all the unicorns that we are, our beloved. But when I came out, and the Empress is reminding me of this, there were pink triangles on black backgrounds that were reminding us of a history of fascism, where my kind and all the other outlaws and Jewish people as well were arrested, and gay people were required to wear a pink triangle on their clothes, the way that Jewish people had to wear a Star of David, maybe on their chest. I think of an armband for some reason. And so that's what I'm seeing here. It's like this review of the star, of this sense of healing. It's a long historical view that we're reviewing here. I'm a historian. It's not that long to look back to the 70s when both of these two flags were invented after gay liberation began, after Stonewall, but it is longer than the distance that these planets in retrograde have recently traveled. So the review here, what we're needing to relook at, the star, this beautiful stag card of both of healing and of wish fulfillment. There is something about the way that we thought we healed and the way that our wish, the wish that we had, the way that we thought it came in, that we need to relook at and revise. And I tell you a narrative about gay history. That doesn't have to be the story for you, but it's something on that level. And very often for me, reviewing and integrating causes me to also revise. So that's what I see here. I do see this loving, celebratory rainbow energy lighting up the darkness that the Empress is so comfortable in. And I would say, as a queer person, I love the rainbow, being a rainbow person, but I'm far more comfortable, and sometimes I even miss being in the closet, being a secret, rebellious by nature. Like by my very birth and realization that I was queer, I was trouble. And I missed that. I'm a little bit of a radical like that. That's to yearn for that is kind of sad, because of course I just want young people to be able to be who they are, whoever they are. And I want that for myself too. So, sorry, that was a long story. Apply it to yourself as you see fit. So when you're communicating and you clearly have an urge to communicate a truth, think back. What is this truth? And where are you coming from with this truth? Are you coming from nostalgia for when you were not free, the way I'm talking about this pink triangle kind of liberation? Or are you coming from that rainbow, super embracing, loving, slightly lightweight, but I think of like like a little page of cups, just a little flirty, fun, not too political place. All right, so that's what you need to examine before you communicate. And that's, tarot says, temperance, it says wait, take your time here. Sorry. I also I have seen the Hangman wanting to come up here. So we hear you, Tarot. Maybe you could tell us a little bit more about this wait. More sense of a choice. 7 of Cups. It can be your fantasies, your illusions. An Ace of Pentacles. Real 3D, practical, beginning a new home, a new job. And, yeah, work. There's some work here. There's a new skill here. So if you're pausing and anxious for some reason about whatever you need to communicate to whoever you need to communicate it to, whether it's this Empress or this Father of Pentacles, the cards are saying here to wait. There's going to be a bunch of decisions. One of them, this Ace of Pentacles, represented here by this Ace of Pentacles, there is a new beginning that you don't see yet. It appears to be in the realm of work, like you're going to get a new job or something's going to change at your job. Yeah. Let me keep going because I feel like there's more there. And I just want to see. It feels odd. It doesn't seem to have anything to do with this narrative. I can feel very clearly how the pentacles are being transformed. That's where we have Uranus, King of Earth here twice. The Tower is the card that's coming in from Uranus in Taurus. So, yeah, that's why I want to look ahead, because the pentacles are Earth, Taurus kind of energy. There was that Hangman again. Okay, the Tower. This is our incitement. It's not going to be possible to miss this. You're gonna be caused to take action by the Tower. 10 of Cups. Beautiful. So if you're in that 8 of Cups place of discontent, here's a 10 of Cups. That's the kind of Tower this is? I hope so. Let's see what else. Whew! New passion, new ideas, creative inspiration. Ace of Wands. Also another fantastic kind of Tower. You know, you can feel that like, boom, surprise, right? And thirdly, woo, the ending and the beginning, the World. Now this card, this is the first deck I ever bought. And I love this card. In the description, it talks about the World is knowing you are complete in and of yourself. You are already whole. There's nothing that you need to change. You are already whole. The Empress speaks of this as well, to your sovereignty, to that you can meet all of your needs. You are able to create like the Earth. So this is very exciting message here from our rebel, the planet of the future, Uranus, also in retrograde. This Tower. It is emotional fulfillment in community with others or in love. The 10 of Cups is one of the love cards. Since we have the lovers here, I feel I need to mention that. It's very passionate, creative, exciting energy. But it is going to bring about, as Towers will, an ending. An ending to some kind of process, I think, of seeking this 8 of Water, discontent, this 8 of Cups here, that seeking energy that is pulling you away from this stability. There's a real old world transitioning into something new, and Uranus has been down there in Taurus. I say down there because on my chart, Scorpio is up there and Taurus is down there. There's a lot of trouble feeling. It's a slow move through Taurus. We're getting really stirred up. Some astrologers interpret the food shortage, supply chain issues, banking changes, like those are all Taurus places. And Uranus there is just disturbing and changing. Yeah, so you got the Tower, the world, and then the Ten of Swords here in the future. So there's an ending. It's really exciting, though, what causes this ending. To have it be caused by a Ten of Cups and an Ace of Wands. This Tower is beautiful. There's never going to be an ending that changed without grief. But it looks like the incitement to that ending is beautiful and passionate, full of heart and body. I love this Tower. But I'm feeling for us here, the collective. We have this ahead as a result of this change. So let's see if we can learn more about that. There it is again, the Ten of Swords. Double ending. There is victory. Rising up. Being recognized. That blue color of this butterfly and color of authenticity. In victory, you fly up out of the darkness and the complications of the past, and you end up like this blue butterfly. That's like on a Ten of Swords, there's a new day coming in. It's like the world is an ending and it's also a beginning. A little feeling of chaos, competition, Five of Wands. I love the Five of Wands. I'm a little bit of an anarchist, so I don't mind when there isn't an emperor running things. Yeah, on the bottom, Mother of Swords. She says, you will have clarity. Remember, there's all these swords here on the bottom, what we had with our Martian, I guess, our Mars energy, Mars and Gemini, an air sign. And we have the Knight of Swords wanting to go act on this truth. Well, the Mother of Swords is the next level, and she has clarity. She has a hold of the truth, and she will act accordingly. She has no problem cutting ties, removing people, things, concepts that don't work. So this reading is a wonderful full moon in Pisces reading about what we're all going through week after week as I read cards month after month of late, which is we're letting go of a lot. There's a lot dissolving and removing itself. We're beginning to get a glimpse of what's coming in to replace it. There's the Lovers here, for example. Beautiful. And this Ten of Cups and this Ace of Wands and the Tower. There's an Ace of Pentacles to show us there's a new beginning, and there's an Empress. There's lots of beautiful, powerful cards on this table to tell you that you're experiencing transformation. It's very clear to me that you have access to truth and inspiration, swords and wands, that are driving you to want to communicate a message to somebody. It feels like somebody just in your life, and this tells me it might even just be a friend in your life, like not your partner, except that might be related in that you want to tell your friend, I don't know if I should tell you this, but whatever, that kind of, I like that story. There's something here about waiting and re-examining the source of your truth and moving it out of your mind and into your heart with the Ten of Cups and into like your passion, your willpower, like the knowingness that can happen in your body. And then from there, you have the clarity of the Queen of Swords to move forward on this. There's pain ahead because there's something that's ending, and that's really out of your control. But it looks like you're going to be you're going to be ready. Like it may be that you're already ready. It's just you need a little bit more heart around whatever you want to communicate. Like this Mars in Gemini energy, it's like I want to speak, but I actually need to just take time to put it right through my heart and know, like, is that true? Is that coming from the best place in me before I actually speak? And there's a lot of urgency and fire, like my dog barking at the cat who lives with us. Like, so there's discord and fire in us, and sometimes it can feel like really fun road rage, and sometimes, I'm going to have to end up apologizing if I speak too soon. So, Temperance is here to remind you. This is the part that's confusing still to me. Maybe that's just because it's hidden from us. We see the Seven of Cups under the Temperance card with the Ace of Pentacles, a new beginning that you don't yet see in your real life, perhaps even in your work. There's like confusion, Seven of Cups, that emerges an Ace of Pentacles, and it's like you're learning a new skill in some area, or there's like you have to wait on that. And what I have interpreted, because of the cards that come after that, is that this new skill is taking the truth and putting it through here. And then the waiting will be over. But there's like surprises to come into you from your heart and your desire, or your creativity, wands, fire, before you speak. So I think I would just be repeating myself. It's a really interesting reading. I want to kind of like explore around in here further, but I'm pretty sure I've said everything that I see. And it would just be me indulging my enjoyment of this narrative. I'm excited about it. I'm ready for everybody to start speaking their truth. And I'm glad that we're being advised to do so, having run it through our hearts. And to be sure that we're coming from that rainbow place instead of that. I don't want to dismiss the pink triangle place. It's very powerful. It is very rooted in justice. It's just to fly a flag that claims a symbol of persecution has a limited ability to move the world forward. It's very powerful because when you come from the pink triangle place, it's like, I don't care what people think. I don't care who gets hurt. That's their stuff, right? That's very powerful. But it looks like it's actually possible to care and to take care in how you communicate. And that's positive, because there is loss and endings and discord in the future. And victory. Okay. Have a beautiful full moon in Pisces, my friend.